This is a day I thought was never going to come, and it is the day that IMAllexx has finally responded to the allegations made by his ex-girlfriend Alice.
This video is my response to allegations made by my ex-girlfriend Alice Hez, who I was in a relationship with for the majority of 2020.
I made a video on the IMAllexx situation roughly 9 months ago. And to be honest, like I've just said, I really thought he wasn't going to respond because 9 months for a response video is an exceedingly long time. Now, in the original video that came about, everything was by Alice accusing Alex of certain heinous things, which in YouTube terms is too early to say in this video. This video is not quite how I really thought it was going to be. I feel that he does it a lot, arse about face. He being Alex. And he should have made certain points first and other points afterwards. But that's not what he does. I'm quite tempted to chop the video about and present it in the way that I feel it should have been presented, as opposed to the nearly 2 hours of the video that Alex actually puts out. Obviously, I'm not going to cover the whole 2 hours. I am just going to bring to your attention the main points that I think are absolutely relevant.
Alice has lied continuously for the last 12 months that I was under a police investigation to friends, ex-girlfriends, and YouTube commentary channels. Alice has continued to make false allegations about me to this day and said that she had pressed charges against me in a comment on TikTok.
In that section, Alex is basically just saying it's a he said, she said. And to be honest, that's all it's ever going to be, isn't it? He can produce evidence in the form of texts online that he can show us that were written, and she can do the same. At the end of the day, neither of them can do any more than that. But it does go on to show in certain points of this video some bits where Alex says that Alice manipulated the situation.
A YouTube commentary channel called Samuel said that she had been dealing with the police instead of immediately taking it to social media when he spoke to Alice.
Hey, I just thought I'd come in to say that I've spoke to Alice, the ex of Alex, and I've also spoke to Einabber. Now, Alice is dealing with this with the police as well. Got the police involved. So instead of just immediately taking it to social media and speaking about it, has also got the police involved beforehand. And is dealing with it that way. She's gone to the police about that, trying to get the situation sorted properly before she speaks about it online. Which is definitely a change. Usually people just immediately come online to speak about stuff and air it all out before going to the police.
This is a lie, as Alice had already posted months before she had released the document that I was on Claire's Law in a comment on TikTok in April 2024.
When I made the original video, a lot of it was all based on the document that Alice put out and other video evidence. But that what we have just seen there on the screen is a lyrics stream that took place before any of this ever came to light. So that puts a whole different point of view on it for me.
Changed her Google document multiple times to hide these criticisms, and has cropped messages that showed her using the same racial slurs that she had accused me of bringing into our relationship, as it directly contradicted her story. This was unacceptable behaviour, and I deeply regret using such horrific language.
I would have thought at this stage of the video that you using racial slurs would be the least of your problems.
Says we had a huge fight where I had dragged her, covered her mouth, and put her in a headlock, and that this happened on the 19th of October, a few days after we had moved in with each other. There are no texts from this time that even suggest that we were fighting or had been in a fight, and that's because this did not happen. On the 19th of October, Alice asked me to call, and the next text message was Alice asking me to sort out my bike in the garage. Later that same day, Alice asked me what's happening, and I tell her the cat had shut me in the cupboard because I was fixing our heating. And then that night we texted about packages arriving the next day. At 1 past midnight, Alice tells me she'd made me pizza, and on the 20th of October, Alice asked me what I want from the shop, and then we go on to talk about buying Pokemon cards. To claim we had a huge fight where I'd physically assaulted Alice is a lie. I never did these things Alice has accused me of doing, because this never happened.
I feel these type of allegations that were made by Alice and are now being addressed by Alex are far more important to bring up and should have been at the beginning of the video instead of at this juncture.
This isn't the only time Alice has used similar proof to claim something had happened which had never taken place at all, and she does this many times in her document. Alice provided a list of events that she had written herself directly into her notes app as evidence and has attached them to her document as proof. But Alice was still writing these stories after she had said that she had moved out, which shows that these were written at a later date retroactively for this document. Anyone could have written down anything on any date and claimed that it was true. Writing down words into a notes app can be done at any time and is in no way, shape or form proof that something happened.
Well, at least that is factual. Any of us can go into notes and put any date that we want in the future or the past and make it seem real.
Alice accused me of grabbing her and said she could prove that this had happened because she had written down the date in her notes app, and then started to blackmail me and threaten me that she would go to the police and start calling me an abuser. I denied this ever happening and explained how it disturbed me that Alice was trying to gaslight me into believing that this had taken place. I had asked Alice not to come back to the house and that I would leave her stuff in the garage because I wanted to break up and I didn't want her near me anymore, me and threatening me since we had started dating. When Alice had left the house, I finally thought I could escape our relationship and that I wouldn't have to see her again. This is when Alice began to start blackmailing me and threatening me because I was asking her to stay away. Alice told me that she was going to come back and that she was only gone for a night. When I told Alice I didn't want her to come back, she accused me of physically abusing her. Alice then threatened to report this lie to the police to stop me from trying to leave our relationship.
Alex is trying to prove that things can be manipulated, and to a certain extent, he is right. But who believes Alice and who believes Alex is going to remain to be seen, regardless of what Alex puts in this video.
And I also don't want to be accused of doing stuff that I haven't done.
Alice then mocked me because I brought up her slapping me. Alice texted me in response saying, "You're mad if you want to say I'd slap you," even though Alice has now admitted she slapped me in the document that she posted. In these texts, I said that Alice pushed me away and gave me shit 24/7 to the point where I didn't want to sleep in the same bed as her. At this point, we were sending messages at the exact same time. This makes it look like we were responding to each other, but we were sending these messages simultaneously, as shown in the
Alex is actually saying here that he never ever laid a hand on Alice, but in the original document produced by Alice, she did admit to physically laying a hand on Alex. So Alex is just pointing out the inconsistencies of everything that was said. He is the innocent party and Alice isn't. But who does everyone believe? Alice put out all of the so-called evidence when it happened, and it has taken nearly 9 months for Alex to come out and address the situation. Does that make him guilty? No, but it is an awful long time to put together documentary evidence, isn't it?
Alice hit me many times throughout our relationship, and this happened consistently from the moment that we started dating. Alice would call violence when I refused to do as she had asked, and this is something she admitted to in a conversation on Facebook Messenger. When I brought up that she had been assaulting me throughout our relationship, Alice responded by saying that any girl would have done the same. Alice also went on to send me a message where she said that her kicking me was probably uncalled for. I messaged Alice about her assaulting me on Facebook after she had posted TikToks calling me an abuser and lied that I was on Claire's Law and under a police investigation. I questioned why Alice was doing this when she had been physically assaulting me throughout our relationship. I told her because of this, I would have to defend myself because of the accusations she had posted publicly. This is when Alice threatened to sue me for suggesting that she had slapped me, which she later admitted to in her document. I messaged Alice about the time she had kicked me, which had led to me sleeping on the sofa and staying away from her to stop her from assaulting me. I retold this story on messages, and Alice replied saying she didn't just start kicking me randomly for no reason. Alice admits in these messages that she was kicking me because I had refused to put my shirt on, which is
The rest of this video goes on in the same vein of Alex putting up screenshots and saying things of he said, she said, and none of it really proves one way or another that he's innocent, or in fact that Alice is innocent. The only good thing about all of this is the fact that they are no longer together. And it may be that they were both as toxic to each other, which means that being apart is the best thing ever. Does it mean that one was a victim over the other? Possibly, but not necessarily. At the end of the day, my job was just to bring you the response because I made the initial video on what happened according to Alice, and now I've made a response recording what happened according to Alex. What do you think happened? Who do you think's right? Do you think that they were equally as toxic to each other and therefore they should no longer be together? Or do you think one is to blame more so over the other? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.